and welcome to this third virtual bridging session to help you with the transition from year 11 into year 12. This session is going to focus on thinking about, even though it's early because you haven't necessarily started your sixth form education yet, thinking about already what you might be doing after sixth form. Obviously, when you leave sixth form, you'll be going into an apprenticeship or a job or to university. And especially in the current climate, getting the opportunities that you want and being able to get onto the courses that you want and securing the career that you want is a competitive business. And so it is important to try and be aware of that and to prepare for that from the very beginning. And you can start to build up a portfolio of experience and you can start to do some research into what you might want to do in the future at a relatively early stage in your year 12 education. I didn't, at 16 years old, think I'm going to be a history teacher and I'm going to be a head of sixth form. And I didn't have an idea clear in my mind about what it was that I wanted to do. I knew that I liked to write. I knew that I liked discussing things. I knew that I was interested in history, but I didn't really have a clear idea, and not many people do have a clear idea when they are 16 of exactly what they want to do in the future. So if that's you, then don't worry about that at the moment. It's also true that there are a myriad of different courses and careers and apprenticeships and opportunities out there for you. And the purpose of this video and the program to follow is to narrow those options down. Now, many of you may not really have a clue about what university course you want to do, what career you might be interested in the future. And so a starting point is to try and start to get some ideas about what it is that you might want to do. One of the things that we have as part of the pastoral program at Teesdale is the Teesdale Career Development Project. And this is a series of sessions that you will follow to help you to start to get some ideas about what it is that you want to do in the future and to do some research about possible careers, apprenticeships, university courses that you might be interested in. And some of that you can start doing already, and some of that you can use this video and you can come back to it to help you to develop some ideas and to develop something of a plan about where you want to go and what you want to do and how you're going to get there. As was discussed in one of the previous bridging sessions, it's best not to think at this stage really about what it is in terms of a career or a specific course that you want to do. It's best instead to think about what problem am I interested in, and how could I try and engage with that problem in the future, rather than thinking, what job do I want to do? What do I need to be able to get that job? So here are some examples of problems in society. How do we make the distribution of wealth in the UK fairer? How can we save larger numbers of species from extinction? How might we design buildings that increase people's happiness and well-being? What are the elements necessary for a superb movie? How can we improve students' experience of school? Think about different careers and courses that would go alongside those problems. So the starting point for you really is to think about the problems and the issues that you are interested in. And there's space on the Teesdale Career Development Project, which is attached to this video, to be able to start jotting down some ideas to get a sense of what it is that you're interested in. Now, one thing that you can use, which is really useful, is a website called SACU. You just type SACU into Google, it will come up at the top of the search. If you click on students, it will take you through to this page here where you can take the free careers quiz, which is really, really good at helping you kind of narrow down different ideas, but also opening up different opportunities that you maybe not thought of before in terms of courses and careers. So if you click on the free careers quiz, this is what it tells you. Almost all of the tools on the Saku website are free, and you can create an account and you can log in and go back and have a look at things at a later date. One thing you can do, which is quite useful, is click on the A-level match tool. What this does, it allows you to put in the A-levels that you are doing, and that matches them to potential degree subjects. Again, courses, subjects that you may not have thought of or you didn't know existed. So if you click on Start Matching Now, I've already put in the 3 A levels that I did: History, Sociology, and English Literature. And if you then scroll down the page and click on View Matches, it shows you what it calls a course cloud. These are all the different courses that link up in some way with the A levels that you are doing. So what you can do by using Saku is research what is out there for you. There might be courses that you haven't heard of before. There might be different careers that you haven't heard of before. You can research them, you can write them down, you can get a sense of what sort of qualifications and experiences you need, because Saku not only does it show you the courses and the careers, the apprenticeships, but it actually also tells you the entry requirements and what sort of grades, etc., you might need to access those things. There will be lots of opportunities during your time in the sixth form to visit some universities, to do some work experience, some volunteering, to look into apprenticeships. We often get outside speakers to come in and talk to you about some of these things to help to develop the range of experiences that you have access to, but also maybe to get you thinking about something that you want to do in the future that you hadn't previously considered. So there are a lot of resources there, a lot of links to help you get started with researching the different courses, the different apprenticeships, the different career opportunities that you might be interested in. What you also need to consider is how fast changing the jobs market is, how whereas previously, maybe in your parents' and grandparents' generation, certainly your great grandparents' generation, most people trained and developed a particular skill, got a particular job, and that was the job that they did for most of their adult life. That isn't really the case now. Lots of people um, do multiple jobs over the course of their working life, have to adapt, have to develop new ideas, maybe change careers completely, certainly use different technologies and different techniques throughout their career. So, one of the things you need to consider is how you are developing some skills that would make you particularly employable and particularly attractive to employers in the future. Have a look at this little video clip here about Amazon Kiva robots, which shows you how fast changing some aspects of the job market and some aspects of society are. So these little robots are incredible in the job that they do in Amazon factories, and they do the job that previously you would have human beings doing it. And 10, 15 years ago, it would have been actual people doing these jobs. So think about what that means for how the job market's changing and how the skills required to be successful in the job market have changed. In this particular case, the job isn't necessarily to be someone who is working in the factory as their main career. There's a job out there to be able to design the robots, to be able to program them, to be able to manufacture the parts that the robots need to work. Now, the factory still needs human beings to work. It needs people to program the robots. It needs people to organize what they are doing. But the types of jobs that exist and the types of skills required are different and are constantly changing. So it is likely that in your lifetime, doing a particular career or a number of careers, the way that job is done or the way that thing is done will change. There was a program in the 1980s called Tomorrow's World, and it used to be on BBC One, and it used to show you what they thought would be the technological advances in the coming years. And I remember seeing as a child a robot that was working in an office, and the robot was filing papers and putting things in a filing cabinet. Well, what Tomorrow's World hadn't envisaged was the fact that you wouldn't have necessarily masses of amount of paperwork and letters. You would have emails. You would have things stored electronically. You would have electronic copies of stuff on a hard drive. So we don't even know the different jobs and careers that are going to exist in 10, 15, 20, 25 years time. And so that is why having adaptable skills is so important. Now, one of the things that you'll have to decide during your time in the sixth form is whether or not you want to go to university to study for a degree. All of the courses that we run in sixth form, whether they be BTEC or A-level courses, all provide avenues through which you can go on to study at university. And the question here to consider is a degree worth it, and is it also enough? We can see here um, a graph which highlights how much difference a degree makes. So this is added lifetime earnings by degree compared to 2 or more A levels. So, for example, the average degree, if you do a degree as opposed to just having 2 or more A levels, over the course of your lifetime, on average, you will earn £160,000 more. If we look at the extreme on the left hand side, which is medicine, for obvious reasons. If you've just done 2 A levels, you've done biology and chemistry, you're not going to be able to become a doctor. But if you've studied medicine at university and you can become a doctor, then you have the potential for making £340,000 on average more than somebody who's just done 2 A levels. Now, it's worth noting that not all degrees necessarily mean that you are guaranteed a job, and it's also worth noting that not all degrees provide an equal amount of ability for you to earn more during your career lifetime. And if we skip back to the graph here, you'll see that if you've done an arts and humanities degree as opposed to just doing 2 or more A levels, yes, you will probably earn more over the course of your lifetime, but that will not be as great as the amount that you will make if you have over the course of your lifetime more if you've done medicine, engineering, maths, computer science, etc. So it's worth thinking about the subjects that you want to do and also um, how useful that degree is going to be, that subject is going to be for the type of career that you want to do in the future. One website that you can use to explore this is called bestcourseforme.com, and this helps you to see what sort of lifetime earnings and what sort of career benefits there are from studying certain types of degrees. Now, obviously, if you get a good degree, if you get a first or a 2-1, so that's kind of like an A or a B in sort of old grade money, that enables you to do better. So there's a wage premium of 7% to 8% for a good degree relative to a lower degree or a lower second or third. So actually, it's not just the degree that you get, it's how good the degree that you get is going to have an impact on your career earnings. You are more likely to get a higher quality job the better your degree is, the better institution you got your degree from, and the higher classification of your degree. So, yes, generally, um, getting a degree is a very good thing. If we look at some of the figures on the left hand side here, in 2016, for example, graduates 76.1% found employment, only 5.7% were unemployed. If you're wondering what happened to the other 20% or so, some of them carried on working and studying and went on to do further training. But you are more likely than not to get a job if you graduate. But it is different depending on the institution and depending on the type of course that you've done. So, for example, if you look at the charts on the right hand side here, this is graduates who were in jobs 6 months after graduating. Okay, so if you look at places like Imperial College London and Cambridge and Oxford and Birmingham and King's College London and Durham and Sussex, all the top universities that you've probably heard of there, you've got a very high chance of being employed. However, if you look at some of the universities on the right hand side, there is not such a high percentage chance that you are going to be employed within 6 months of graduating from those institutions. And you've also got to think about the type of subject that you are doing. So if you look there, for obvious reasons, medicine, dentistry, nursing, radiography, veterinary medicine, physiotherapy, pharmacology and pharmacy, land, all the things on the right hand side there where you have a very, very high chance of having a job after graduating, those courses that are being studied, like medicine, dentistry, they are leading to a very clear career path. You know, you study medicine, you're going to go into medicine. You study dentistry, you are going to become a dentist. So, and these are also areas in society where there are always jobs available because it's part of a public need. If you look on the left hand side, so we've got courses like creative writing and sociology and social policy. These courses you don't have as great a chance of being in a job after 6 months, and that's because these are broader subjects. A sociology degree can take you in lots and lots and lots of different directions. So can a communication and media studies degree. And that means that unless you are doing one of these degrees, unless you are set on doing something that leads very clearly to a particular occupation, then really what you have to be able to do is to develop your key skills, to develop your employability, to develop all those different opportunities and take all those opportunities and develop all those extracurricular skills that we talked about in the previous bridging session that give you an advantage over other people. And that's something that you start doing in sixth form, and then you would continue on during your time at university. That don't let that list on the left hand side put you off and think, oh well, I was thinking about doing something like that, but I don't know if I'm gonna have a job at the end of it. You know, there are lots of people who do get jobs, but the job market there is more competitive because of the variety of different opportunities that are available. Something that is becoming increasingly popular um, is people choosing degree apprenticeships. So increasingly, this tends to be in STEM subjects, tends to be in things like engineering, computer science, etc., where you do a degree apprenticeship. So you are sent to university by the company that you have an apprenticeship with. They pay for your fees, they pay for everything, and then there is usually a guaranteed job at the end of it because they have trained you and they have put you through university so that they can then employ you in their company in the future. So, think once you've done your research and you've got an idea about where you want to go, and you've got an idea of what university subject you want to do, or you've got an idea of the courses that you might be interested in, also think about and research what you could do with that degree. That goes back to what we talked about at the start. What's the problem in society? What's the issue that you want to engage with? How could you therefore use your degree to help you to engage with that problem or that issue? Now, one of the things I mentioned briefly there was degree apprenticeships, where you do an apprenticeship and the company that you're doing the apprenticeship for puts you through that degree. But there is also the opportunity just to take a straight apprenticeship that gets you straight into a career working for a company. The best website to start with is amazingapprenticeships.com. Now, when you do your SACU student profile test, which gives you your university cloud and your career cloud, it also gives you an apprenticeship cloud, and that has real-time links to apprenticeships within whatever mile radius you choose on the filters of the search engine within SACU. What you can also do is use the Amazing Apprenticeships website. You can register with them, you can subscribe to the website, and you will get updates to do with apprenticeships in areas that you are interested in. There is the opportunity to look at free resources, look at different vacancies that exist, and if you click on the apply section, there is the opportunity to type into a search engine run by the government type of apprenticeship that you might be interested in, and there are filters for location and whether or not you can be prepared to travel, what level of apprenticeship. Um, it is also the case that during the course of your time in sixth form, we will have representatives from Amazing Apprenticeships and other organisations, like, for example, Glaxo, that offers a lot of apprenticeships, that will come in and talk to you about how to apply for apprenticeships and also highlight some of the specific opportunities that are available. And so, really, the last part of this career development plan is for you to start to sketch out what you're going to do, to try and start to think of how you are going to um, carve out some opportunities for yourself, how you are going to get some work experience or some online assistance if you can't do it face to face, how you are going to develop some of the skills that you need to be successful in the chosen career path that you're thinking of, or the chosen area of study, or to successfully develop a good CV ahead of an apprenticeship application. You got to start to think about, and obviously you'll get help from your tutors and from the pastoral team, how you can start to really seek out opportunities that will help you to get to your chosen course, get to your chosen career, get to your chosen job in the future. So, I hope you found this a useful introduction to some of the ways in which you can research potential university courses, careers, apprenticeships in the future. The resources that have been used as part of this session are included in a link in the description at the bottom of this video, and you can return to this at a later date to help you further. So, until next time, stay safe, take care, goodbye.